What is going on, everyone? So on every single video that I've put out, I get maybe 100 comments asking about what game I'm playing, and I really can't tell if it's an inside joke or if people are seriously wondering. I've pretty much just stopped answering the question altogether, and hopefully whoever commented can figure it out themselves. And if you still can't figure it out, don't worry. All you have to do is go over to the description of the video, and I've listed the game that is being played in the background. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Twitch, help me get to 1,000 followers, and join the channel Discord. We've finally hit 1,000 members. On Discord, you can pretty much just connect and chat with other subscribers of the channel. You can even voice chat with me if you want to. I even play Call of Duty with the Discord members, so if that's something that interests you, then click on the invitation link down in the description below, and I'll also link all of my socials as well, so go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. So anyways, we have today yet another jealous hater, a neckbeard who doesn't get any love from his parents, probably just drives around neighborhoods with an unmarked white van that has free candy written on the side of it. It's funny because his email just so happened to be the same as his Instagram username, which his Instagram isn't private, so this clown clearly doesn't know how to conceal his tracks, or he didn't think that I would actually look him up on the internet. But anyways, let's take a look at what he has to say. If you're gonna say that OnlyFans shouldn't be considered a job, then take a look at yourself. You are making YouTube videos and call that a career. What a joke. You've gotten the same amount of girls as you have brain cells. I'll let you figure that one out. I've been subscribed to your channel for quite some time since your crappy WNBA compilations, but I'm not subscribed because I like your content. I'm just here to leave a dislike on every video you release. Back to my original point. These girls who you claim to be quote-unquote thoughts are way more popular than you and make more money than you. After all, they don't have to buy views and subscribers like you. I mean, how is it possible for you to grow so fast given your filthy, low-quality content? It sounds like you're a jealous virgin who hasn't even smelt a girl. Okay, so we have a lot to unpack here. So I've said it only 10 million times. I'm a college student. YouTube isn't my career, and it will likely never be my career. I'll end up getting a job after I graduate and use YouTube as side money. I'm not going to be living off government welfare checks like you pissant. A human brain contains about 10 billion brain cells, so are you suggesting that I've gotten 10 billion girls? Thank you very much for the compliment, but I stay true, I stay loyal. I've only ever had one girl, and that smoke show just so happens to be your older sister. Now, I know you're best friends with your right hand, so when you're on the hub, you might notice your sister's face on one of the thumbnails. I know you're in love with her, so you'll probably click on the video, and my beautiful face will be right there as well. It also might explain why you're gonna be an uncle in a few more months, but don't worry, I've already placed a restraining order on you. Now, did your mom decide to roll around in radioactive waste when she was pregnant? Because it seems like you were born with your brain fully formed inside of your asshole. You leaving a dislike does not matter. I think I have a 96 to 98% like to dislike ratio on all of my videos, so please keep clicking on my videos, leave a dislike, and continue giving me ad revenue. Thank you so much for your service. Now, you do realize that these OnlyFans girls are rubbing their dirty boot all over your face, and you're just sitting there like a little lapdog licking their boot. You are out here defending girls who don't even know who you are, and they're using losers like you to get more and more money. Alright, just think about it for a second. I know it might be hard since you're suffering from third stage brain damage, but you really woke up to write a moronic email to a guy you don't even know to defend some random girl on the internet. Does that not sound sad and pitiful to you? And you're absolutely right, I don't go around smelling girls. Okay, that's kind of weird. So I guess you got one thing right in your email. What's worse is it sounds like you're jealous of another man's success. Maybe one day I'll pull up to your house in a Ferrari and do donuts on your driveway, and then I'll proceed to use my money to purchase you because that is how insignificant and worthless you are. Today, we are taking a look at BuzzFeed's child, Mike. Now, Mike's Wikipedia page says that they are a media company that covers social justice and progressive issues, described as serious issues important to young people. I thought, there would be articles and documentaries about things like climate change or the abysmal job opportunities that us young people are facing, the insane tuition costs for college, lack of affordable housing, etc. But no. These are not serious enough issues. Instead, they decide to focus their efforts on some of the most serious issues of them all: mansplaining and cancer not being feminist. Yes, earlier we saw man spreading, but now men are guilty of doing doing something called mansplaining. Now you might be wondering what the hell mansplaining is. So for manspreading, it's pretty easy to figure out: man plus spreading. Mansplaining is, I think, man plus explaining. I recorded this part before even watching the video, so that's my best guess. So I think feminists are not only triggered by us spreading our legs, but it seems like they're upset about us explaining things. I mean, if these words teach us anything, it's that feminazis are just not capable of being creative. All they do is put man in front of something and think that they're owning the guys. Anyways, enough of me talking. Let's see how this wonderful feminist is changing the world by taking to the streets and being brave enough to interview the big, bad, horrible men about mansplaining.
Do you think mansplaining is a real thing?
Mansplaining?
Man what? Plaining?
Like explaining manhood? Or manscaping? Or what is that?
Oh, you're talking about men wanting or liking to explain everything like that.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Look at how these guys have absolutely no idea as to what she's talking about. It's almost as if mansplaining is a made-up fake word that quite literally nobody knows or cares about. Do these feminists just sit around in their office sucking on their thumbs trying to figure out what to complain about next? I mean, it seems like the BuzzFeed feminists are living in this bubble completely detached from reality.
I knew what mansplaining was, and I was pretty certain they knew it too. I just had to get them talking long enough to prove it.
Look at that stupid, dumb grin on her face. This older gentleman is trying to walk with his friend, but it looks like she's femisplaining by sticking a mic in his face and trying to force him to do an interview that he obviously doesn't really want to do. Also, let me direct your attention to the human logo. Notice how the man is upside down, whereas the female symbol is right side up. They're trying to own the guys by saying that we're upside down or something, but it just looks corny, and unlike the feminists, we don't get offended by this stuff. We just like to point out at how unnecessary and stupid it looks.
Ever interrupt people when they're trying to tell an anecdote or something like that?
Not at all.
You never interrupt people?
No. I don't do that myself, so I haven't seen that in my workplace at all.
Oh.
So.
Why does she find it so surprising that these men don't interrupt people and that this dude said that he doesn't see people interrupting each other in the workplace? If someone has something intelligent or of value to say, then I will be courteous enough to let them finish, but if it's someone like this feminist talking who obviously spews nothing but BS out of her mouth, you best believe it, I'm not gonna let her talk so that I and everyone in the room doesn't get ear cancer.
Well, I don't ever do that. I've learned to keep quiet, so my opinions stay here and don't reach this part.
This man right here has lost all my respect. What kind of a soy boy answer is this, man? Come on. Do you seriously just keep quiet because you're afraid? Who the hell taught you that it's okay to do that, man? Like, speak your mind. This man for sure is the housewife and his lady is the one wearing pants around the house. I wouldn't be surprised if he wears a dog collar with his name engraved in it, and if his wife puts him on a leash and makes him get on all fours and walk around like a golden retriever. She probably spanks him with a paddle, and my man probably squeals like a pig.
I've given up, so I'm just along for the ride nowadays.
Now, it
I used
doesn't...
to drive the bus, but now I'm just a passenger.
F's in the chat for our fallen soldier here. That's why I like to say, when you stay single, your pockets will jingle. I mean, look at this man right here. Probably was once filled with joy, emotions, and life, and look at what they did to him. This is probably going to be all of us one day, you know, when we get married and have kids. We will all be as lifeless as he is. He even said that he was once in the driver's seat. I bet he was once the most alpha male alive, but his wife had some sort of cheat code enabled and she was able to slay him. Just pay your respects for this man right here. I mean, it really makes me sad to see the terrible situation he finds himself in.
Okay, he wouldn't let her speak, but I felt that the tiny woman was trying to communicate with me.
Oh gee, I wonder why he didn't let his 1-year-old daughter speak. Maybe because she doesn't know how to speak, you idiot.
Have you ever been interrupted by a guy?
All the time.
Where do you get interrupted the most? Like at work or when you're in conversation with friends?
By my husband mostly. He can't help it. I think it's stronger than his will.
In my family, most of the time, my dad maybe interrupts me and says, "No, this is not right," and I'm like, "It is." this is like a man thing you have in your head.
Maybe because she asked her dad, hey, can I go to the Ultra Music Festival dressed up like I belong to the streets? And he probably said no, and apparently she thinks that's a man thing in his head. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been interrupted by girls. I had a job interview where in one of the rounds you had to work in a group and a bunch of managers and senior managers would observe you, and this chick would not let me speak, man. I was trying to, impress the managers by trying to give out ideas and work with the group, and this female was just cutting me off every time. I was so close to taking the poster we were working on, ripping it to shreds and throwing it at her face, and guess who ended up getting rejected at the end? Me. So why doesn't this clown ask those same females if they had ever been interrupted by another woman? And I can promise you, granted they're not lying through their teeth, that they had been interrupted by other females. So this was a really stupid one-sided question.
It made me wonder, what was this man thing inside their heads? I wanted to crack one open like an egg, but my producer, who is a man, told me no.
You wanted to crack a man's head open like an egg, and you're mad that your man producer said no? Kudos to the producer for shutting you down. I wouldn't even have to crack your head open to see what's in there, because I already know that it's filled with your own feces. After all, you had to go to school to get a comedy certificate. I mean, that has to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You actually went to a school to get a degree in comedy, and somehow you still don't know how to be funny? Did you guys just stand around sniffing your own farts? Like, who goes to comedy school, bro? That's the biggest L I've ever seen.
I mean, maybe sometimes women talk for too long. That's it.
Talk for too long?
I mean, we can kind of explain the same thing, but twice as fast.
This man right here just put himself onto the Easy Swish Sniper Hall of Fame. He is for the boys. Give this man an award. Let's give him a standing ovation. What a top lad. I heard nothing but facts being said.
I don't necessarily think men interrupt women, but I think sometimes in conversation you have to interrupt certain people.
I think it depends on the type of man you are. I've never really felt that men interrupt women. I actually feel women interrupt men.
Had he given her his man thing?
This interview just backfired so hard. This feminazi thought that all the women would be on her side, but guess what? As she always is, she's wrong. This female right here gets my badge of honor and approval and is the second person inducted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, she really just hit this dope with the 1-2 punch, completely blindsided her with that answer. Alright, she clearly lives in the real world and not the echo chamber that the BuzzFeed feminists seem to insulate themselves in. I mean, this is truly a monumental answer, and I love how the interviewer said he had given her his man thing. He probably has. Are you just jealous that no guy has tapped you? It seems like you don't have that WAP, that WAP, if you know what I mean, and you're just bitter that the only action you've ever gotten was holding a dude's hand in your junior high prom.
If you know that you're being a misogynistic person, then you can at least know how to change it. But if you don't realize that what you are doing is naive, demeaning to people.
Wait a goddamn second. Did she just interrupt him while he was trying to give his answer? Is this an example of Feminist-splaining? Is she really out here chasing men down and teaching them a lesson on not interrupting, and then she goes on to interrupt a man herself? I remember in my answering 36 questions for men video, I said that these feminists claim to be the most well-behaved, woke people and say that men are these terrible, terrible people, but in reality, it is the BuzzFeed feminists that are the hypocrites, and I had a bunch of feminists get mad and say, oh, Swish, you're a misogynist. All these feminists are right. Well, guess what? We have Exhibit A over here, a woman who says that men are the ones who interrupt women when she so clearly does the same thing she accuses others of doing. And then she comes out with a video called Cancer Isn't Feminist, the disease that causes so much pain and suffering to families around the world, a disease that affects children all the way to 90-year-olds and has cut hundreds of millions of people's lives short. Apparently, that isn't the problem with cancer. The problem is that cancer is sexist. Instead of maybe making a video of a child fighting and overcoming cancer and telling that child's story, this stupid website thought it'd be a better idea to pour resources and money into this nonsense. Now, I'm only going to show you guys like 5 seconds of it because the rest would end up getting copyrighted since it contains movie clips. I'll just link the video in the description below so you can take a look for yourself.
I'm not having kids. My body, my choice. And it turns out my choice has serious health implications because biology doesn't believe in feminism.
Alright, why are you acting like the real reason you're not having kids is because you aren't able to find a guy who would willingly lend you his schlong? I mean, as the saying goes, don't stick your meat in crazy. So is COVID-19 considered to be sexist because men are at a higher risk of contracting it than women? Any normal person wouldn't be asking this question. Instead, they'd be focusing on how to, I don't know, find a vaccine or how to help people who've been affected by the disease. But again, I think we've already established that these BuzzFeed feminists are deviants and shouldn't be considered normal people. We should treat them like they have some sort of mental disability. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. The goal is to hit 120,000 subscribers, and the only way is up. So I'll see you guys next week, and yeah, peace.
TSA gon' smell it when I board it. I dabbed on them when I board it. I ain't never been extorted. I'm out finessing these tours, kid. Whoever I'm texting is gorgeous. I pull up that Audi, the doors lift. Why you think I put S on Forbes list? They didn't think it would come at all. I go to sleep with my gun. It really feel like somebody is after me, don't know what